Nigeria is one of the most well-known and recognized countries in the world. All over the globe, people know of Nigeria's movies, weddings, and quite unfortunately, its internet scammers and instability. But when it comes to knowing about the country itself, few people truly know much about it. For instance, Nigeria is the most populous country in Africa with a population of 211 million people. This also makes it the 7th most populous country in the world. Mirroring Africa itself, Nigeria is an extremely diverse country. Religiously, Nigeria is about 53% Muslim and 46% Christian, with the remaining 1% being traditional religions. Ethnically, Nigeria has over 370 ethnic groups with over 520 languages spoken between them. Much like the United States, Nigeria is also a federal republic with a presidential form of government. It has 36 states and one federally controlled territory where its capital, Abuja, is located. These statistics about Nigeria is a must know because without these details about the country, it's hard to understand why Nigeria is as complex and polarizing as it is. Understanding the complexity of Nigeria requires going back in time, all the way back to pre-colonial times when the Igbo lands, the Bonu Empire, the Sokoto Caliphate, and the Oyo Empire existed. The current state of Nigeria demands understanding these old empires, as the people that make up the Republic of modern Nigeria are the summation of these lands. In fact, it would be more apt to say modern Nigeria consists of 4 old empires, each vying for dominance culturally and religiously. The conflicts and tensions plaguing modern Nigeria can be best understood when these 4 different territories are taken into account. These 4 areas vary not only in culture and religion, but also geographically and ethnically. Out of Nigeria's 370 plus ethnic groups, the most dominant are the Hausa, Fulani, Yoruba, Igbo, and the Kanuri ethnic groups. The Hausa make up 20% of the population, the Yoruba 21%, the Igbo 20%, the Fulani 6%, the Kanuri 3%, and the remaining belonging to other ethnic groups such as the Tiv or Ijao. During pre-colonial times, the Hausa, the Fulani, and the Kanuri people made up the population of northern Nigeria. The Hausa and Fulani made up what was then the Sokoto Caliphate, and the Kunari made up the Kanem Bonu Empire. The Sokoto Caliphate and the Kanem Bonu Empire were both Islamic and had been influenced by Islam due to their proximity and contact with the Arabic world through trade. They had expanded and accrued wealth through these trades, and so their cities and people thrived. The Yoruba and Igbo were however not influenced by the Arabic world, as they were further down south and far away from the Trans-Sahara trade route. Instead, they came to be directly influenced by Europe through the transatlantic slave trade and colonization. Before this contact with Europe, the Yoruba people made up the Oyo Empire, and the Igbo and other smaller ethnic groups made up the Igbo lands. Both the Oyo Empire and the Igbo lands were thriving societies with their own religions, extensive cities, and strong cultural identities. They traded with the Sahel kingdoms and other coastal people like the Akan in Ghana before their eventual contact with Europe at the turn of the 15th century. Over time, both the Yoruba and Igbo people came to be influenced not only by Christianity, but also by Western culture. When the Berlin Conference divided Africa into different territories for European powers, these empires fell into the hands of the British. In fact, these empires fell in order to fulfill the divisions that had taken place at the Berlin Conference. The Sokoto Caliphate and the Kanem Bonu empires formed the Northern Nigeria Protectorate, and the Oyo Empire and the Igbo lands formed the Southern Nigeria Protectorate. These 2 protectorates together led to the formation of the Colony and Protectorate of Nigeria that lasted from 1914 to 1954. These developments serve to highlight the complexity of modern Nigeria. Previously, you had 4 different empires, each with different people and different cultures, and being in contact with 2 different and quite frankly polarizing civilizations. The Arabic and Islamic civilization in the case of the Sokoto Caliphate and the Bonu Empire, and the Western and Christian civilization in the case of the Yoruba Empire and Igbo lands. Under British rule, all of this had been packaged into a singular entity that still exists today as the Federal Republic of Nigeria. To maintain stability after British rule, Nigeria has undergone multiple identity crises. The country has had 3 republics since its independence, with the current republic being the 4th. It also had a brief period in 1967 where it saw the declaration of the Republic of Biafra by Colonel Emeka Ojukwu, the governor of the eastern region in what was formerly the Igbo lands. This declaration led to the Civil War that sparked the famous starving African child stereotype, as the war left millions of Igbo and other smaller southeastern ethnic people dead and millions more starving. For most Nigerians that supported the government's efforts, the Civil War had to be won to keep the fragile Republic of Nigeria united, since the once separate empires had become interwoven and reliant on each other. The North needed the South in order to have access to the sea and also to partake in the profits from the oil boom in the Niger Delta. The South, on the other hand, needed the agricultural competency of the North, since farming and livestock rearing had been and still is a huge part of the Northern way of life. This sentiment of a Republic of Biafra remains today and highlights the core issues plaguing modern Nigeria. In fact, this sentiment bears similarities to the more violent Boko Haram insurgency in the north. What the Biafran War and the Boko Haram insurgency have in common is that both of these conflicts came about due to economic, ethnic, and religious tensions. Before the Civil War of 1967, the Igbo were heavily persecuted in the north due to differences in ethnicity and religion, and so they wanted their own republic to safeguard their people and interests from the larger and empowered north and what they also believed to be unchecked corruption within the new government. Boko Haram, on the other hand, having been founded in the northeast Borno state in what was previously the Kanem Borno Empire, claimed that the influences of the south have made the once Islamic northern regions less Islamic, more corrupt, and more westernized. In fact, most of the attacks perpetuated by Boko Haram occurs within the north and is often directed towards what they consider non-Islamic. For instance, the 2014 kidnapping of 276 secondary school girls were Christian students in the town of Chibok, located in the heavily Islamic Borno state. However, the rise of Boko Haram consequently triggered a rise in anti-Islamic sentiments in the southeast, which culminated in a new wave of pro-Republic of Biafra sentiments in the suspension of Twitter from Nigeria in 2021. This suspension occurred after Twitter removed Buhari's tweet stating that many are too young to be aware of the destruction and loss of lives that occurred during the Biafra War. In the eyes of the Nigerian government, Twitter was actively undermining the social fabric of Nigeria and inflaming tensions the government had been intent on reducing since the country's independence. Twitter's support of a new wave for a Republic of Biafra before its ban on June 5, 2021 had come after a series of anti-Islam and Fulani movements in the southeast. The indigenous people of Biafra and the Eastern Security Network, being majority Igbo, felt their lands were being encroached on by Islam and Fulani headsmen who had brazenly started open grazing in majority Igbo areas without permission. This led to the burning down of a Fulani camp and the killing and destruction of its livestock by the IPOB and the ESN in February 2021 in Abia State. Twitter's disregard of these incidents and blind support for a Republic of Biafra without understanding the fragility of Nigeria's republic led to the ban. This back and forth between the North and the South, when broken down to its core, is a complicated dance for power between what was once four separate empires. In fact, it may be better to state is the continuation of West African history interrupted by colonization. Before British rule, the Sokoto Caliphate came to be after the Fulani pacified the Hausa kingdoms and parts of the Bono Empire. It was also well on its way to pacifying the Oyo Empire after Ilorin, a Yoruba province, was taken over through the spread of Islam. Had the British not annexed the crumbling and weakened Oyo Empire after its many wars with the Sokoto Caliphate, it's possible the Sokoto Caliphate would have taken over the entirety of modern Nigeria. What colonization may have done is simply prolong this eventuality by forcibly westernizing the South through aggressive missionary work, converting most of the Southern population into Christianity, and introducing systems and laws that ran contrary to the North and Islam. Modern Nigeria needs to be understood through this lens, because without understanding the complexity of the country, any attempts to appreciate the country or see its future is futile.